What's going on, everybody? Quancredible here, and as you can see, I am hoodieless today. It's in the washer. I forgot to wash it last night, so it's in the washer now. But it will be back for my next video. And today I'm here to talk about Black Clover chapter 266, which this chapter was crazy. Like just off of the last chapter we got, that like short 11 pages or whatever, which was interesting. The stuff with the elves, but I was not expecting to get all this for this chapter. Now, one thing I want to talk about before I go into the chapter is we got another color page this week, which with Noct and the four like devil type figures that like he summoned. Don't really think that they're full devils or anything like that, but those four shadow figures that he summoned, and it's crazy because I want to say like Tabata's like last 6 or 7 chapters, like we got the color page for Asta and Yami, we got the freaking popularity poll, and now this. And it's like, man, can my man Tabata get a break from these color pages? Like, I love them, but at the same time, it's like they keep asking him to do these color pages, and it's like I would like an extra page or two instead of a color page. But this one had like 16 or so pages, so I guess I can't complain. But just hopefully he gets a break from the coloring after this. Anyway, on to the chapter. So it starts basically wrapping up. I would consider this the meeting has wrapped up with their plan and all that. Julius is basically FaceTiming Gaja, telling him, okay, yeah, we're going to be there early in the morning, we're going to fight. And Gaja's just like, yeah, of course we'll join in the fight as well. We're gaining strength with the elves, on our honor as the Heart Kingdom, all that, we're going to be there. Which is interesting because, I know even Gaja says that their people, being like Noel's group, are also training with the elves, so if they make it, it's on them. But like we didn't see Gaja or any of the Spirit Guardians or anybody like that in that last chapter, so I wasn't for sure if they had even made it out alive. Of course, it's safe to assume that they did because they were protected, but at the same time, it's just something to think about when we didn't even get a small panel of them. So it's cool to see the guys are still around and that they're training with the elves as well. It's kind of weird though, because Spirit Guardians already didn't really do anything. So like, how much stronger are the Spirit Guardians going to be able to get in these 3 days? Like, are they even going to get ultimate magic? Like, it's just so weird to me. But it's cool to see that all these powers are going to be meeting up. I know in the unofficials it made it seem like the Diamond Kingdom was also mentioned, but I guess in the officials we don't hear anything about another country. We just see only those guys. Myself, as well as a lot of other people, definitely want the Diamond Kingdom to be involved. And it's not even like it would be random, because the Diamond Kingdom definitely has stock in this fight, considering the Spade Kingdom like really attack them first. Granted, there's been little skirmishes here and there between the nations, but as far as like a full out attack, the Spades definitely threw the first punch against the Diamonds, so they have more than enough reason to be there. Also, going by how the Diamond Kingdom tends to have acted in the past, they always pop up places somewhat randomly, such as at the dungeon, in Kitten, and the Witch's Forest. They just love to just pop up, so I wouldn't be surprised if they pop up. Hopefully we do see them there with Mars and Ladros in tow, but we'll just have to wait for the future on that one. And then after their call ends, like this panel with Gaja was really interesting to me, because he's like, he just turns his like head, and he's real menacing right here. He's like, I will save you no matter what. And like, I understand this is his princess or his queen, or like the person he's sworn to protect, but this feels deeper than just that. Like there's another connection between Gaja and Laura Pechka. There like has to be. Like this just seems more than someone who was just hired to protect her. You know what I mean? It just like the amount of just emotion right here. There's something else there. Like I don't know if this is his love interest, or did she like save his life one day or something. There has to be something more here. So hopefully we get a huge Gaja fight incoming out of this, because like there's definitely more here. After that we get Noct visiting the Black Bulls base, I guess for the second time ever, because since he said he's only been there once, and there's only what was it, Gray, Vanessa, Finral, and Gausher there. Basically telling him that they're going to marshal up the Magic Knights elite. Now I looked up marshal. Basically the way he's using it is just rounding up a group of people. So all he's saying is he's just rounding up elite Magic Knights, would probably be captains, vice captains, and like really important or useful officers. Definitely not everybody, because like Flagoleon said a couple chapters ago, you're going to need people to stay here to protect, just in case the kingdom gets attacked. But he's just telling them he's going to round up some important people. But it's funny because like Finro and Vanessa are like, wait, you're the vice captain. Why are you just now coming here? Like, why have you never been here before? And then of course he gives them the same spiel he gave Asta, being, I hate the Black Bulls. Now, Noct's reasons for hating the Black Bulls, they are very justified when you look at it. He says he can't stand people that can't do anything right, and that the Black Bulls are good for nothing, that have more damage than they do exploits. Now, the one thing he said about being the vice captain, saying it makes it more convenient for him to move around, is kind of odd, because when Asta asked him, he said it was just something like that Yami arbitrarily decided, meaning Yami just made him the vice captain out of nowhere. But this chapter makes it sound like he wanted to be the vice captain. Like, I don't know if I'm like looking too much into that, but or maybe he just didn't go full in depth with it with Asta. But it kind of seems like, from at least this chapter standpoint, that there's, that being the vice captain is more beneficial to him than it was just random, I guess. Anyway, from there, Knox seems to go in on the Black Bulls from here. He's like, yeah, you guys played a pivotal role in the war 6 months ago, being like them fighting against the elves, but he's like, that doesn't erase your past failures. Like, he says, you still got that drunken witch, Vanessa, Finro, who's a useless womanizer, essentially, fallen noble, ex-convict Gauche. He even brings up like how Magna's a delinquent, and how Zora's just evil looking, like, and just etc, etc. And like, Gray has a really powerful moment to me. Like, granted, it's not like, oh my gosh, moment of the year, top 5 Black Clover moments. It's not all that, but like, for Gray's character and how shy she is, her to speak up when like no one else had said anything yet is really kind of powerful when you think about it. Like, because Gray's mad, embarrassed, mad, shy, and she is still mad, embarrassed, and mad, shy here, but she still speaks up and said they're all good people. Like, they're not as bad as you're making them sound. And Noct, again, like, his logic is not flawed here. He's like, if you don't want to be judged by the way you look, then don't look like that. And it's really is that simple. Like, if you don't want people to think that you're bad, then don't look bad. Like, I can't argue against that. Even if it is really harsh and really cruel, I can't argue against that. And then he goes further and basically says, when bad people turn around and do something good, the whole twist seems to make them more likable. And that's very true in real life. Like, when you have someone who's been really, really bad and then they turn really, really good, like that rise to greatness, people love that. Like, that's a very common theme in just everything, stories, real life, movies, all that happens a lot. Like, it's the redemption that people love. People love to see redemption in stories, but Noct apparently hates it, and it's for good reason, because lots of times bad people turn good, they get a little bit more slack just because they are turning good. He reinforces and says the best people are those that have been good from the start. So I guess it makes sense why he would like Asta so much, because Asta's always been good. Yeah, from there he takes Asta to this abandoned house. We get the confirmation that he does have shadow magic. Anything that he, as well as himself, is touching can move to a different shadow, which is pretty cool. As well as like his shadows also being able to grab things, because I mean, we did totally see his shadows grab Asta and suck people in, stuff like that. So I mean, it is really kind of a weird magic type. Like, it's definitely really odd. It's a really strange one. I can't wait to see like him in like an actual fight, or maybe it's like that because maybe he isn't really suited for actual fighting because he can't manifest like more attack spells. So I guess we'll have to see how that whole thing works if he ever actually fights. But like I was saying, he takes Asta to this abandoned house, and Asta asks him whose house it is, and he just says it's a certain house of a former noble. He doesn't go into it anymore, he just like goes past it. But I'm pretty sure all of you have seen it from the spoilers and even from this chapter. There's that picture in the corner where you can see like a boy that has like the same like slanted eyes as Noct, same black colored hair. There's like another kid there, and it's like scratched out. Now, I'm pretty sure there's like 1,000,001 theories on this already, but as far as what I believe it to be is just because, that I'm pretty sure we all can more or less agree, it's not confirmed, this is probably Noct's old house, like the house him and his family lived in. Like, we can probably all come to that, realization. And as for who the person is, this obviously has to be a sibling of Noct. Again, not confirmed, total headcanon here, but it obviously has to be, though. And to me, what I believe it to be is a twin of Noct. Like, say like Noct had a twin brother or twin sister or whatever. But I'm going with brother just because when Jack's like, wait, I've seen this guy before, and wait, I thought your magic was, and he gets like cut off because Noct is like, that man is now gone. So it's like, it almost kind of alludes to this Noct being different from the one Jack remembers. So it almost feels like this guy could have been the twin brother, and the actual Noct that Jack knew is no longer there. I know it sounds kind of crazy when saying it out loud, but I hope you're following me here. That's just what I think it is. I'm pretty sure there's other people that have probably come to this conclusion as well. If you guys think something different than me, or if you agree, let me know down below, because I am really curious about this one, because this is definitely probably one of the bigger talking points of the chapter in general. Anyway, from there, Noct uses a spell called a Dark Garden Invitation, which I'm assuming takes it to like a sub-level of the house. I don't really think this is like a basement, or they would have just used stairs. I think this area is like sealed off, but like an area sealed off that you could probably only get there with shadow magic or a magic similar to it. And like it sucks Asta down, and they're in this like super creepy basement. Like it's mad creepy. The skulls, candlelit, all that, all the whole nine in terms of creepiness. And basically he's like, yeah, in these 2 days I'm going to teach you everything I know about devil power, so you know you'll be exponentially stronger. And he even says, like, up until now you've only been using the power that kind of trickles out from it, and you know that's all you've been using. And it's funny because the anti-magic devil said that when Asta had used his power, kind of like when Asta was asking him for power against Dante, he's like, oh, you've just been using like the power of mine that just trickles out, not really harnessing the full thing. So yeah, definitely through this Asta will be able to command the power more of his own. And then Noct is saying from here we're going to be doing a ritual that will place it like under your actual command. And normally you would need some type of like item or relic to be linked to it, you know, such as the one that Noct shows. He has like the tooth, a claw, like a feather, and something else. Not really for sure what it is, but he's saying like Asta's arm, his grimoire, his whole existence is kind of strongly connected to one, so he can summon one just from using those. Now, but this is kind of weird because I kind of almost wonder if the Dark Triad have done a similar thing. Like, do they have a connection similar to Knox, where they have relics that are connected to said devil, or is it just connected to them just because similar to Asta? I kind of lean more on the towards Asta's side a little bit, but maybe different, just because after we seen Dante lose, he was like bare chest. Like he had nothing on, crown was off, there was nothing there. So it's like, unless he's hiding something in his pants, I don't really think he has a relic. And I'll be assuming that all three of them, Vonica, Xenon, as well as Dante, would all be the exact same. So I almost feel like their connection or ritual may have been a difference. So then as soon as Asta steps up on the platform that Noct is on, his devil basically manifests. And it's really crazy because like I did not see this coming at all. It's weird because like Asta, like the power comes from his grimoire and like his like arm that's like gone, and that I feel like is what summons it or manifested it. And Noct basically says you have to fight it and win. So it's looking like the whole typical shonen trope thing where it's like, oh, you have to defeat your inner power to, you know, achieve your inner power, akin to like Naruto or akin to like Bleach. I know a lot of people see the comparison with Naruto fighting against Dark Naruto or Naruto fighting against Kurama, but this definitely seems way more like Ichigo fighting his inner hollow, because like the similarities there are way stronger than Naruto in my opinion. But and from here, I'm not for sure where this is going to go, because when Naruto was able to fight against Kurama, or Dark Naruto or whatever, he was still able to use all of his abilities to the fullest. Like he was able to use Sage Mode, Rasengan, Shadow Clones, all that other stuff. And same thing for Ichigo. Ichigo, when he was fighting against his inner hollow, was still able to use his Zanpakuto, he was still able to use his Getsu, he was still able to go Bankai and all that stuff. He just, you know, they both just had to win. It's really crazy with this one because it's like Asta's missing an entire arm. So even if he is able to use his swords, he only has one arm, so he can't dual wield. So it's like I don't really know how exactly he's supposed to win unless he's literally just going to beat it to death with one arm, which would be kind of crazy. There's definitely going to be more to this fight or another element. I'm not for sure if Noct is going to be able to help him during this fight or if it has to be like a one-on-one thing. I kind of would like it if Noct was able to help him out, but again, this is more than likely probably something that Asta has to overcome on his own. Now, the crazy thing is that like the anti-magic devil's face is kind of peeling away, but I believe this is going to give us a chance to actually look at him and see what he looks like, because as we've seen for the word devil or Zagrit, he did have an actual face. It wasn't like it was just blacked out the entire time. So I'm assuming we're going to get to see like what he actually looks like. Not for sure if he actually looks like Asta or not. I know a lot of people thought that this was Asta just because given the context of the paneling when we got the spoilers, but as we can see, it's not. So I'm not for sure if the anti-magic devil is just going to look really similar to Asta or if he's just like his own thing. Definitely mad hype for next chapter. I'm not really for sure what I think is going to happen next, because I really want us to continue this again. If Tabata broke away to go to someone else's training, I'd be furious for this. Like, we at least need to see the beginning of this training before he goes somewhere else. We have to see this. Let me know what you guys think about Asta's training down below, and what you guys think is going to entail, how Asta's going to fight against this thing, because I really do not know how he's going to fight this. As for the rating, I would give this chapter out of 10. This was a really solid chapter. I mean, granted, we did have a huge reveal of the devil and all that other stuff, but not enough for me to give it a 10%. I know lots of people are throwing the whole 10s around. I am a bit more stingy with my 10s, so I'm going to leave this one at like a solid 8. 8.5. It was really good, but not enough to put it over for me. But yeah, as for that, make sure you guys like the video as well as sub to the channel. I know I keep saying it a lot, but it's only because I really want the channel to grow as big as it possibly can. And as for that, I have nothing else for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will catch you in my next video.